would like to welcome you to Audio Suplex Live, brought to you by the Nerd Complex Podcast Network. Hey everybody. If you are joining us today, we want to thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon with your favorite wrestling nerds. I'm going to preface this by telling you guys all right now that this is going to be probably the sleepiest episode of Audio.
It's a Snuggie Hour version.
Yes, the Snuggie Hour version.
You're lucky for those actually watching us live on YouTube right now that we are not wearing Snuggies and having like blankets and stuff like that, like neck pillows and stuff like that, just kind of passed out halfway asleep. So I'm pretty sure
they should be lucky. Like half of us were awake enough to even dress ourselves.
Joe, can we get the camera on Corey straight up right now? Like he's got the glasses on. I'm not 100% sure he's awake right now. So Corey, hey,
We're here. We're live.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I don't know. I'm just out of it, man.
So, a little bit of backstory here. Corey and myself, if you guys don't follow us on any social media or anything, just got home at 4 o'clock this morning, our time, from NXT TakeOver Chicago last night. It was, in so many words, it was a cool experience. It was really good. So,
and being in Chicago, I'm sure that's even more. All-State Arena has been known to be a wild crowd.
Yeah, it was.
You know what? I was pleasantly surprised.
They were mild?
No, they weren't. But what was awesome, and I refused to chant CM Punk's name because that's just what they're going to do.
I know what you're going to say.
But what they did was, until the very end, they did end up chanting CM Punk at the very end. Every time a CM Punk chant started, the whole crowd booed out the people that were chanting CM Punk. There was a lot of CM Punk haters in the crowd, and it was awesome. And anytime CM Punk chant started, for the
game
over, man. They booed him out.
80% of the show. I wouldn't even go as far as to say that they were CM Punk haters. I think they're just like-minded people like themselves that are
don't
tired.
The show.
At this time, it's been about irrelevant. 5 years. I mean, come on, it's time to move on.
Yeah. So, and I know they were kind of like putting themselves in a precarious situation, having Hideo Itami in the main event.
His main event, go to sleep.
Well, not actually even technically the main event.
Touche.
So, interesting change of pace last night when they ended the show with the tag team title match. So,
well, given the result, that would be kind of had too.
I'm gonna preface. We're gonna talk about this a little bit. I'm gonna preface this with there are gonna be spoilers here
about TakeOver,
and probably next week's NXT because we'll probably talk about some of the pre-taped matches.
Maybe we won't say who wins.
Yeah, we won't give away any results, but
perfect.
The card itself was pretty fantastic. It was. Let me retract that. I wouldn't say it was pretty fantastic. I would say the card itself was pretty okay. The opening
week compared to a lot of the other NXT pay-per-views, the other takeovers, weak, but still pretty good. Better than a lot of WWE main card pay-per-views.
So how many shows did they tape before the actual pay-per-view started?
I'm assuming one episode. Probably one episode. 3 matches.
Yeah, each of your NXT episodes typically has like 3 matches on it. There were no like frills or anything like that between the matches, so you could almost assume that they tape the matches and then they add in all of the extra content like the backstage stuff and
the highlights from TakeOver.
In between the matches. But your 3 matches that were taped for, I'm pretty sure
we're not even going to know the other guys' names in some of these matches.
Oh yeah, there was the first one was Aleister Black taking on Kurt Hawkins again, a repeat from their match of. Main event that they filmed while they were in the UK.
Yep.
Pretty cool. It was cool to see Aleister Black's entrance live. I'm all aboard the Aleister Black train right now. So
he's definitely talented and one of the guys that can take such a simple move and just even make the spinning heel
Black
kick.
Mass.
I mean, Black Mass. I mean, it's just something so simple, but it's, it
looks good. It
looks
good
so
live.
good that it just,
WWE's got a lot of faith in this guy, too. You can tell just by the fact that, so he's had, 5 televised matches now to this point? I think, 3 on NXT itself and 1 at TakeOver, and then I think 3 or 4 on actual NXT.
He did one on main event, yeah.
So he's had, 4 or 5 actual televised matches, and he's already got merch out.
And like I was telling, I was talking to you guys off-air Thursday, if you have not heard Aleister Black's entrance music other than just on TV, go listen to that. Find it on YouTube or something. Tell me you just won't feel good and jacked for your day after listening to that.
I love getting good and jacked for my day.
Little plug too. The band that CFO's collaborated with at Incendiary is a very good band too. So definitely worth checking out, independent of their work with the CFOs. So
can I just say a problem I have with Aleister Black?
What's your problem?
it took him. Well, I know we weren't going to give away results. Okay, the match with Kurt Hawkins lasted way longer than Kurt Hawkins' normal matches. So like, why is he not beating Kurt Hawkins in a minute?
Because I think they're trying to position him in a way that he's above a lot of the lower card on NXT, but in terms of like the main roster, he's not quite at that level yet. Even though he's still good enough to best people on the main roster without giving away the ending of this match if you can't telegraph it in at this point, like.
Or if you know nothing about Kurt Hawkins at this point,
right.
Yeah.
You know, he's still putting these people away, but it's taking him a little bit longer than just a straight up kick to the head.
Well, that's a good. We get to see his moveset a little bit that way, which is nice. I would hate for him to be
and I don't want to see
smashes all the time.
Yeah, because you don't want him. You don't want people to turn on him the way that they turned on Baron Corbin initially, just because. I mean, I feel people lose interest after a certain point if you just keep putting them in squash matches.
We talked a little bit, I believe, Thursday about this. I don't think that's going to be a problem because he's got that indie background credibility, and with the NXT audience, if you say he comes from Progress or he comes from ICW or he comes from Evolve or PWG or ROH, if he comes from like one of those, that's automatically like a stamp of approval. Like
how many other indie companies do you know?
A few.
Listed a whole bunch.
A few.
That's a lot.
I just want to flex my my indie credibility, man. I want to flex my indie muscle there a little bit.
Show it off.
So your second match that they taped for NXT this coming week was the debut of the Velveteen Dream.
Oh, how bad were you marking out during that?
I was pretty stoked. I tried and failed to get a Purple Rain chant started.
That was the one. I'm like, no one's gonna chant it.
Which
he tried to do that during the live show too.
Yeah, when we went to the NXT show down in Columbus, I tried to start that one up, and it once again fell flat on its face. But that did lead to like a big, long succession of Prince jokes.
Yes, we kept coming up with names for moves based on the names of the songs that Prince has come out with.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
It was a good little bit. He faced an enhancement talent. I will say this.
From Chicago.
They booked the enhancement talent, whose name escapes me at this moment and probably will escape me forever, as being from Chicago, which immediately gave him the babyface push.
Yeah, everybody popped.
They are going to be pushing this new Patrick Clark gimmick as a heel.
Most likely.
Well, he was kind of a heel from what I remember, right, when we saw him in Columbus.
A little bit.
I do like the direction, though.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It gives him something to do. And we can talk about this at a later date, but Corey brought up a point that the NXT singles roster is getting so deep now that we might need to see like a secondary NXT singles.
You can do like
title.
a TV title.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't put a second title on there yet.
But this many guys at the top of the NXT card, they can't all be in the title picture.
You need something for your
floundering. And that was the problem. Remember, for so long when you had all these good wrestlers coming in at one time, and it's like it was a good thing to have. You're all clustered up, which is a good thing. But some guys that were talented and probably should have got, a title shot or a title run weren't getting it because it was just so top heavy.
You need to look at the roster now. You need something for your Velveteen Dreams, your No Way Jose's, your Cien Almas's, people who aren't in that main event picture need something to be working for and working towards. So,
especially since a lot of these guys aren't going to ever see a world title or an NXT title match ever, and the whole time they'll be NXT, they won't get a match because there's just too many to get through.
I bet the second they introduce like a TV title or something like that, Tyler Breeze is going to stomp his feet and go like, "Why now?"
WTF, guys.
But he'll be too busy polishing his tag team title to.
We'll get to that. What was the final? Well, go ahead.
And I mean, I guess they do kind of have that secondary title right now, even though they just kind of specifically cater it to, they have the European, the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really
getting its own show, so it's not going to be on NXT.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a NXT belt, but I mean, at this point, they have been defending it more on NXT than
that's true.
Anything else.
It's never been defended on a main card.
I would go as far as to say that I wouldn't say it's a secondary title after last night.
I would say it's a world title for the UK show that they're doing. That's their main belt. That's their NXT belt. That's their Universal belt.
I would say it's like
WWE belt
at the same level as probably the NXT belt at this point. So if
Yeah,
not,
I wouldn't.
very-
I wouldn't say it's even though the Universal belt sucks, it's not Universal or WWE World Heavyweight Championship level.
But anyway, last match that they taped was Drew McIntyre taking on Wesley Blake,
That was a good
formerly
match.
of Blake and Murphy. Really good match, actually. It's a good showcase for McIntyre. McIntyre is
Beautiful. Great. I mean,
he's a specimen, dude. Like he doesn't. Something happened.
he looks
like,
so much different.
he's
more built now.
Heath Slater's got to be beside himself because he's looking at his two former bandmates.
I was going to bring that up later during the
world title match.
But just, I mean, look at now 3MB or former 3MB, just, from where they were to, McIntyre and Mahal both got released.
Yeah.
I mean, did you think
Slater-
2 months ago?
Keith
2 months
Slater's got
ago,
kids.
Yeah,
so
he's
that's
got
why they left
kids.
him.
Yeah.
I mean, they've all enjoyed a great amount of success now post, 3MB.
Yeah. With Slater being the inaugural SmackDown Tag Champ, and
Yeah.
he's had a good little.
They've
run.
done things.
Yeah. So, so the taping was pretty cool. Some really good matches there. The takeover card itself, we won't go in depth into it because that's not what this show is about. I will say two things about this. One, it was super. I kind of like called the shot ahead of time going into it that I thought the UK title match was going to be the match of the night. I didn't.
You did say that.
I didn't quite think that we were going to be seeing, and I don't think this is hyperbole to say this, but I think we saw a genuine match of the year candidate. Like,
It was great.
A quite possibly. I don't think it'll get 5 stars. I'm not Dave Meltzer. I can't throw out star ratings at things. But
I mean, you can. You could do a Dr. Texas.
I would give it a very 4
Rating.
point. I would give it a very solid 4.75.
Oh, you're splitting up your stars into 0.75s.
Yeah, well, I mean, because if I know anything about Uncle Dave, it's that he won't give it the full 5. He'll give it something very close, though. I think it'll get out of Meltzer. It'll probably get like a 4.25 or a 4.5. If it had been in Japan, it might have gotten like a 4.75. But
Tokyo Dome would have got 100.
all the stars.
How many
it
stars?
It was a fantastic match, though, from bell to bell, and without spoiling anything for you guys, the ending is exactly what it should have been. So
Beautiful.
and then the other
Tag title match was also, I think, one of the better matches of the night. You had AOP taking on Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano in a ladder match, and it was very exciting. And the way they ended it was interesting. So.
It was definitely something that everybody kind of expected to happen at one point or another. Do we want to spoil it? I don't know. Go watch NXT Takeover. This show's not about Takeover.
Yeah, it was great.
We'll have some video content. We took a lot of pictures and videos yesterday.
I saw a couple of your Snapchats yesterday.
Yeah.
Most of our videos are apparently of us eating Chicago style pizza. because we needed
Corey
to-
got super upset with us because I
I'm
was
like,
trying.
why are you filming me eat pizza? No,
I was trying to get cool footage of
No
us
one
doing
cares.
Chicago stuff to put together.
Take a
like
picture of my pizza, not with it in my mouth.
Now, granted, okay, so we had okay seats. I wouldn't have written home about them, but because of where our seats were in the arena last night, our footage of us eating pizza is probably the best footage we truly have.
That's true. We did not have good seats.
Yeah, we didn't.
We were so if you notice at any pay-per-view or any show that WWE does, they have the Titantron.
Yeah.
And behind that there's obviously no seats. Those are all empty. We were directly to the side of the Titantron, but a little bit behind it. So we actually could not see anything happening on the Titantron, which is a little frustrating. We had other TVs we could look at, and obviously we could see the ring. The Allstate Arena's not that huge.
But it did actually provide us some, and this will be the last thing I want to say about this, but our seats did provide us that really cool vantage point to see them kind of preparing for
spots.
for some specific spots, maybe involving tables in the main event. So anyway.
Yeah, that was interesting. Let's move on to why we're here today. We are here to predict tonight's outcome of Backlash, which is also taking place at the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois. So what do we got? We're gonna go straight into it. Our pre-show match?
Yeah, so Chicago, Illinois, SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view Backlash. The pre-show match is the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger taking on Aiden English.
The artist?
Yes, the artiste.
Feel like 3 years ago this would be a great match. I still think it's going to be a good match, but
yeah,
I really wish they do more with Aiden English.
He's where he needs to be, I think, right now. I mean, the fact that he's still even on the main card at this point, and
this feels like an NXT mid card match.
It does.
Lower card NXT.
This is designed for nothing else but to get Ty Dillinger over
and to continue on Aiden English's crybaby gimmick.
Yeah,
his Mauro Ranallo gimmick.
There's a lot of speculation that that's what that's about.
I didn't get that. I heard that, and I'm like, that's not what
I don't see it personally.
You know where you get that vibe? Well, more so with the JBL is on Impact. They have Josh Matthews is claiming he's being bullied by what's the TNA announcer that's been around forever? Yeah, Borash. He's saying he's being bullied by Borash, so he got Borash suspended, and Borash has been coming to the Impact tapings, and he's standing behind Josh Matthews, like holding up signs saying Josh Matthews is a bully. Oh. It's they're literally taking what's happening in WWE. And
have they made Impact great yet?
No, not yet. I didn't watch last week's episode, so I still not seen Scott Steiner show up, even though I know he showed up to the taping. So it either happened this last week and I didn't see it, or it'll happen next week, because I think they taped like 4 episodes.
Yeah. Well, no need to commiserate over this match for too long.
So what do you think? Who do you got?
I'm Ty Dillinger. There's no way.
Ty Dillinger, you mean you can't have him lose his first pay-per-view match, on SmackDown. Plus, you want to get the momentum rolling for him. So, I mean, as much as I like Aiden English, I have to go Ty tonight.
All right. I am planning on going very bold with my picks today, but I'm going with Ty Dillinger because Aiden English's character, I think, makes sense for him to lose. It'll continue the character arc that he's going towards.
And they want to start positioning Ty Dillinger to be that king of the lower card.
Yeah.
So, all right. So moving on to the first match we're going to talk about of the main card, the tag team championship match with the Usos facing the Fashion Popo.
Day one ish.
Day one is H.
Day one is H. What is day one is H?
And then on that day, our day one will be H. It's so good.
They are hilarious. I am a fan of the Fashion Police. I mean, as soon as they started doing that gimmick, I thought it was pretty funny. But just in the last couple of weeks with these backstage segments, the recorded fashion files, hilarious. Like, they're definitely getting me behind them.
This is, looking up and down the card here, in my opinion, probably the best fleshed out
story.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't really fought each other, it's just been them cutting promos on each other. And really, the Fashion Police have not even been focusing on the Usos. They've been focusing on, we got to take care of the Ascension, and we got to take care of this and that. Whereas the Usos just come out at the end of the match and cut a promo where it just sounds like they're, I don't know, not as thought out as they need to be, or they should be, or I don't know.
Just the promo style between the two teams, I think both teams have really kind of like taken their characters and have like completely dove in now.
Yeah.
They're completely bought into their characters. So,
and I believe this match, I believe Usos versus the Fashion Police would be a decent match. The Fashion Police have come from the very bottom of the SmackDown tag card they're up there with the Usos. We haven't seen American Alpha on TV in weeks. So they're at the top of the tag team division. I think this would be a good match.
Shawn, do you have any feelings?
I've always liked Tyler Breeze. I always was a big fan of him when he was down in NXT, and I always thought once he came up, I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't kind of gave up on him too quick. But that being said, I'm glad they put him with Fandango because it looks like, they mesh well as a tag team. And like Corey said,
they really do.
I really have enjoyed the Fashion Files and everything they're doing. It's just hard not to get behind them right now.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people forget that. Okay, so obviously I think everybody knows that the Usos, in terms of tag team wrestling on the main roster, are probably one of the top 3 teams in terms of just like good tag team wrestling. Like they've really they've gotten great matches.
They're super good as heels too.
Yeah, they've gotten some really good matches out of some really good opponents over the years. And this is just not like in their most recent run. This is even like Face Paint Usos have been fantastic workers for a long time.
Yeah, years.
I think people forget sometimes that Fandango and Tyler Breeze are really good workers in their own respects. There was a period of time where people were pounding their fists on the desk for Tyler Breeze to be the NXT champion. Like,
it looked like he was going to be the NXT champion there for the longest
couple
time.
Times he had opportunities.
When the WWE decided that they want to bring Jushin Liger in for one literal match, who do they put him in the ring with? They put him in with Tyler Breeze. Yeah. So I think,
what are our picks?
I'm going to go, as much as it pains my heart to do it, I'm going Usos. I think Usos retain that heel heat that they've got going on, their promo style. It's too early to take the belts off of them.
They've had the belts for a while, bro.
To me, they're still the cream of the crop of the division, though. I think every team that they have should be chasing them at this point.
Okay.
So
once we get our picks, I'm going to ask you a follow-up question.
Okay. So I'm going to go Usos on this one.
I would love Breeze and Fandango to have the titles because, like we've all agreed, they're very entertaining. I just don't see a point in taking the belt off the Usos right now. So I have to go Usos also. Or the Uggos.
The Uggos.
I'm going bold. I'm saying the Fashion Police are going to win this match.
Wow.
I'd be happy if they win this match. They both deserve it. Just,
I think they're going to do it.
I think this match has the capability, if given the right time, to be a sneaky candidate for match of the night. I mean, it's got stiff competition with.
We'll see how long it goes.
Styles and Owens is going to
Depends on how much time they get. If they get a decent amount of time, I can see them put them on a good match.
If they give them a good solid, I'd say like 12 to 15 minutes to do this match.
I think if the Fashion Police are going to win, I think we might see a pretty quality match, and then at the very end, maybe you think the Usos are going to win, and the Fashion Police pull one out and get a crowd pop. That might even be our opening match of the night, just to get the crowd hype for the rest of the card.
Yeah.
Get a babyface win with the titles on the line. My follow-up question to you, Travis, and if you want to give your follow-up, you can answer as well. If the Usos win, who challenges them for the belt next? Because obviously if the Fashion Police win, I'm sure we'll see a reboot of Usos versus Fashion Police at least one more time.
Right. Who would be the next
Who's
contender?
next in line for tag team championship match against the Usos?
Once you get depends on how they drag out the Fashion Police.
The Money in Bank is in June.
Okay.
So we're still only, we're about a month away from Money in the Bank. So
New Day.
Okay. That makes sense.
I would agree. They look like they're bringing in the New Day for something. So
Yeah.
So you think they're gonna feud with the Usos? Are they gonna win that match? Or the Usos gonna retain that? How would you book it?
I would probably put the belts on the New Day at that point, just to kind of get people interested in the tag team division again.
Oh my!
We think it's getting better. Like it's definitely marginally better than the tag team division was even a couple months ago. But I think if you really want to get people interested in it, you have to put the belts on the New Day once they are ready to come back and they come over to SmackDown.
I could see that.
So
I'd definitely give them a high spot on the card right off the bat. Too. Not that they wouldn't be at the top of the card anyways.
I certainly wouldn't give them another 1.5 year long reign with the belts.
Yeah.
Well, definitely not.
I think one more title reign and then they should be done with the belts.
Yeah.
They'll
All
probably
right.
split up eventually.
So moving on from the tag team titles into our United States Championship match, the new face of America, Kevin Owens, taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles.
What do you think of the match?
I
think it'll be a really good match. This could potentially be a match of the night candidate as well.
Yeah, I think this or Usos Fashion Police are going to probably be
Nakamura Ziggler, bro.
That one too has it depends on how that match goes. If it goes to as an actual competitive match, I think it has a good chance. I think Nakamura is a smart enough worker to know that his main roster debut pay-per-view should probably be a really good match. Like he should probably get a really good match out of that. And I think Ziggler's a guy that he could.
We could probably talk about that match when we get to it.
We could. But yeah, I think this does have a really good chance to be. There's 2 or 3 on here that have a good chance to be match of the night candidates. The build to this was kind of, I think, muddled a little bit with the whole hot potatoing the title between
Jericho having to be involved in that.
Yeah,
kind of derailed KO a little bit by dropping the belt for a day.
Because they came in hot with him coming to SmackDown. They did the whole Face of America challenge thing, and he had the whole new Titantron, and then they had to basically drop that whole gimmick for a week because Jericho won the title back for I don't even know what
2 nights.
reason.
Yeah. Well,
see, I always thought they
should bring him to SmackDown.
I always thought they should have done that the other way around. They should have had Jericho win at Mania and then Kevin Owens win at Payback, just because it would have made a little bit more sense, I think.
Yeah.
It would have made sense, other than they would have to have done the shake-up a little different, like bring Jericho over already. I don't know. I don't know how they would have done that.
Yeah,
bring Jericho over. He's the United States champion. He has a match against KO. KO is on Raw still. So if KO wins, he goes to SmackDown because that's where the belt is. Raw loses. I think that would have been a good way to book it. You're
so
right.
almost like the exact opposite of what they did with
Right.
it. So
right, but you have the winner coming to SmackDown, and you don't have to give Jericho the belt for 2 days to do that.
Well, and I think the only reason they threw that in there is because and ultimately he won the match. But I just figured, they're going to do that just because they want to make you believe that Jericho had a shot,
and he hit, and he won.
And he did.
It was just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it was real bizarre.
Whereas the other way around, if they would have booked it where Jericho's champ, he's on SmackDown, Kevin Owens is on Raw, he challenges, he could win or lose.
Yeah.
You probably would think he would lose because Raw doesn't want to lose KO. Like, why? They would never send KO to SmackDown.
Well, and I was kind of curious on that decision too, just because with Lesnar only being there, every other month, I thought KO with the U.S. title, we talked about it, in the past how that U.S. title needs to be brought back to,
which they're doing it
prestige.
on SmackDown.
They are on SmackDown, but I thought that's okay. Here's your chance. Lesnar's your champion. He's not going to be around much.
Yeah.
KO's got the belt, and it's a good worker with the title. I thought having him on Raw with that belt, I'm like, okay, not that he's not doing it.
They're doing
SmackDown.
the exact same thing on SmackDown. The U.S. title is more prestigious than the WWE.
Oh yeah, that
and
goes without
they
saying.
need to do what you were just saying to the IC title because it's not. Miz needs to win that belt, and he needs to have a high-profile feud.
Whoever wins the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title, once in a great moon's fine, but they gotta stop putting them in the world title matches, especially like during pay-per-views, because then you lose a title match.
You're right. Title matches, you should be having quality matches for all your title matches. That's
right.
It's worth something. There's prestige
Dean
there.
Ambrose finally defended the title since WrestleMania.
Yeah,
last
on
Monday.
Raw, and he ended in DQ.
I think the Superstar shakeup really kind of did a lot to hurt some of these titles and the matches. It'll smooth itself back out once
it's just
we get
confusing now because they kind of didn't plan ahead. They're like, okay, well, we're going to decide the day of the shuffle, all the final decisions, and they didn't plan out all the storylines, and so the storylines are going to get muffed up.
I truthfully think that once we get past Backlash is going to be like the final pay-per-view that's going to be kind of muffled up by the whole Superstar shakeup.
Right.
So once we get past this, Raw's already started with Extreme Rules. Yeah, they've already kind of smoothed themselves out with their storylines, even though they were throwing the curveball of Braun Strowman being out. But now, once we get past Backlash, SmackDown will have that reset button hit, and they'll be able to kind of restart their storylines and kind of get everything going into SummerSlam. So
let me ask you this, Travis.
Yes, sir.
Kevin Owens or AJ Styles?
This is a tough one.
It's not tough. I'll tell you exactly what happens.
Kevin Owens retains.
It's a good prediction. What are you thinking?
I really like AJ. I have liked AJ, but I'm going to go with Kevin Owens because two reasons. Kevin Owens is really good as the U.S. champion right now, and he's a strong champion. Don't think you need to shuffle that up. And two, Styles is over so much, you don't need to put a title on him to,
I completely agree.
Have him go over. He's fine on his own.
So you're going Kevin Owens is going to win the match.
Kevin Owens is going to win.
You saying Kevin Owens is going to win the match?
Yes, I think through nefarious means.
You always say that. Nefarious things are going to happen. If I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, and just real quick, can I say that I love our Kevin Owens kind of Boy Scout looking
So here is my bold prediction. I say Kevin Owens retains, but AJ Styles wins the match via disqualification when KO hits him with the belt or maybe a chair, maybe he does something to the ref because AJ Styles needs to win. I think this will continue the feud just a little bit longer. AJ wins the match, but it's by DQ. Thus, our face of America is safe. AJ gets a win. Kevin Owens keeps his title. It's the best of both worlds. It fits with the character of Kevin Owens. And AJ has fuel for another match that something else will happen before he moves on to his next opponent. That's my bold prediction. You can log it in now.
Nice. I like it.
I think Owens is going to hold the belt at least till SummerSlam, if not longer. Because I could see them doing Owens Nakamura or something along that lines at SummerSlam.
They are fighting at house shows. Kevin Owens and Nakamura are fighting at house shows.
Here's what's going to happen. Kevin Owens is going to start doing his Kevin Owens United States Face of America Challenge, and he's going to lose the belt when John Cena comes back.
Like on a Tuesday Night SmackDown?
To take it off of him.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. Or it could lead into either Extreme, or not Extreme Rules, but Money in the Bank or...
I think an interesting storyline would be so KO loses the match by disqualification tonight. That could be his new gimmick. Like anytime he thinks he's going to lose, he just gets disqualified. He gets to keep his belt. He can be like the coward heel.
The true face of America.
Which is what, that's something that worked with Seth Rollins when he was with the Authority. It was a lot of cheating, he wasn't looking very legit, but he was at the top of the card.
I kind of got my fill of chicken shit heel Kevin Owens when he was the Universal Champion.
That's just what he's good at, though,
But still, he
doesn't have someone helping him. He's got to get the disqualification himself. I don't know. Let's move on. Possibly match of the night here. We got the Good Girls versus the Bad Girls. Charlotte, Becky, and Naomi versus Tamina, Natalya, and Carmella, and Ellsworth. I don't know if he's in the match or not, but he'll probably be.
We don't know what he's doing anymore. Period.
It sounded like I've heard him book it both ways. That he'll be technically a part of the match, but I don't see that technically really happen. I'd see he'll be ringside. What do you think of this match? You excited?
Not in the slightest. It's really hard too because you have 3 or 4 of probably the top women's wrestlers in the entire company in this match between I would say Becky, Charlotte. I'd put
who are the other 2 that
I'd probably put Naomi in that conversation, and then probably Natalya as far as in terms of like work rate.
Yeah,
but this is not, and I think this one kind of suffers from the Superstar shakeup as well, where it's like they kind of had to do something for the women's division going into this.
Throw them all in the storyline so they have something to do until they figure it out.
And then once we get through this, I think we will see an ending to this match that sets up a couple of things. Yeah. So,
thoughts, Shawn? Anything you want to input on the Good Girls versus the Bad Girls?
Just to elaborate on what Travis said, I think Naomi's one of those women wrestlers that was severely underrated and kind of got lost in the shuffle the whole time. Even before Sasha and Charlotte and all them showed up, I always thought she was very talented and just kind of got lost in the mix. I get it. You have to have this because, storyline. I hate that we're losing a women's championship match because...
True.
Because of this, I feel like this is something you could have done on SmackDown and then
which they have. I think they've had this match on SmackDown already.
I don't know.
Who do you think's going to win? Who are you leaning for on the win?
Because I could see it either way.
This is one that could go either way.
I could see you want the Good Girls to go over the Bad Girls because of everything the Bad Girls have done to them. You need that. Okay, here this is their payback,
their backlash.
But yes, their backlash. But I could also see a situation where Charlotte or Naomi inadvertently hits the other one and causes the Bad Girls to win, which is going to set up Naomi and Charlotte for the world title, or for the women's title.
The women's world title.
The women's world title.
Interesting.
So what are you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Good Girls with the asterisk that I wouldn't be surprised if
it makes sense with the booking. WWE is notorious for 50-50 booking.
Yeah,
the Good Girls have had a downside the whole lead up to this match.
I think this is the only true match of the night where it's like I could see it either way.
Yeah, Travis, what do you got?
Come back to me.
You're not allowed to steal my answer.
No, I'm not stealing your answer.
So what I say, you're not allowed to say what I say.
All right, fine, whatever. I will say mine first.
Okay.
I think.
But if you say what I'm going to say, then I'm allowed to say it.
Oh, okay. You're like just cut in.
I've had this. I already know. I know what's going to happen. I wrote it.
I hit an epiphany this morning when I was doing our picks for our like pick'em thing that we do with our friends, with our little friend group. We're gonna see the welcoming committee pick up the win, and we're gonna see Carmella be the one who gets the fall. Mm-hmm. Carmella's gonna make Naomi tap to finish the match.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
And that sets up Naomi Carmella for Money in the Bank.
I really like that.
And I think we might see a couple other things. I don't think that they are completely 100% bought into Charlotte as a babyface at this point. I could see Charlotte turning on Becky.
Okay. No.
It's
all right,
been
so
done.
what's going to happen is
it's tried and
the
true,
Bad
though.
Girls are going to win.
Yeah.
They are. And it's because Charlotte cost Naomi. Charlotte's going to turn back bad. She's going to cost Naomi setting up a title match between Charlotte and Naomi.
Here's my only thing about turning her back heel, though, is then you're okay. Who's
the
your
swerve
other?
Is they've
who's
been
your other
teasing.
face then?
Naomi and Becky right now, but that's your swerve. They've been booking it like the swerve's going to be Becky is going to be the one to turn on the good girls. She faked it out once.
You think it's going to be like kind of a Vince McMahon,
I think
the higher power type of situation where
something like that. Bitch.
Like I think that the way they're booking it, what makes sense with the booking to me is that Becky Lynch turns heel on the good girls and joins the welcoming committee. I think WWE is doing that on purpose because they want to swerve us the other way, where it's Charlotte who actually she was the baddest bitch on Raw.
I don't think anybody's going to be shocked by Charlotte turning on
not
Becky.
at all.
I'm just saying. It's not on Becky. It's on Naomi,
like
who is the women's champion. She wants that belt.
I just don't think any of the faces should turn heel right now because then you run into a situation where you're short on
it's 3
female
to 3
faces.
anyways. It's 3 to 3 anyways. Tamina is not going to be in any fucking. She's not going to be in any.
Hey, she might be superstar of the year.
She's not. She's not going to be in any feud. She's going to be the backup, just like Ellsworth. She's not going to do shit for anybody. She's going to stand there. So you got 2 heels and 3 faces. So Charlotte turns heel. She could even be a tweener heel if you wanted to.
Should put Tamina with Nia Jax in the At Least We Have a Job tag team.
No, Nia Jax is more part of the Raw Women's division than Tamina ever will be on SmackDown. Like, has anybody officially figured out why she's in the welcoming committee when she showed up 10 seconds before Charlotte did?
Well, what if Charlotte takes over the welcoming committee? Welcome to the new SmackDown.
I don't know. But
so what did you say? You said good or bad?
I said the heel team wins.
You say good or bad?
I'm going to say the good team wins, just with the caveat
I was just asking.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I said bad. So bad, good.
Let's get this out of the way.
Nakamura and Zigglesworth. What do you got?
Let's get this out of the way right now. Are we unanimous in the fact that there is a
he's on the poster. Chance. He's on the poster. All the advertisements for Backlash has been for Nakamura and his.
That has less to play into it than the fact that they have one. He's a former NXT champion, 2 times over, I believe. 3,
or is he a 3-time champion?
No, 2 times.
2, I can't remember. So they hot potatoed the belt between him and like
Joe
and Reed.
He lost it to Joe and then won it back to Joe. Lost it to Joe, won it back from Joe.
I think he only lost to Samoa Joe once and then won it back and then lost it to Rude.
I can't remember.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay.
So we're all in agreement though that I think Shinsuke Nakamura is winning this match handily. My question is, how handily is he going to win it? I could see this going one of 2 ways. I could see, with the amount of talk that's been leading into the match, I could see it being a situation where it's just a glorified squash.
I would hate that.
I personally would too, because I know that Dolph Ziggler's a good worker, and I know that he can go and he can make Shinsuke Nakamura look good. So I'm actually gonna table that right now. I don't think it's gonna be a squash.
Now that you said it, though, I can totally picture him doing something stupid like that.
But at the same time,
especially with the way the promos have been.
Right.
Where Ziggler's just been talking him down like, you are nothing. I can just see Nakamura going out there and hitting him with his knee.
Kinshasa
and done.
Yeah.
Done.
But I don't think that showcases Shinsuke Nakamura's moveset, which is his bread and butter.
I don't think they care.
Because I think because WWE
they sold enough Nakamura shirts.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, you know who he is, you know what he can do.
We're just gonna show you that he's the best.
Yeah.
They're gonna put him in
just a side note. Can we stop already with the artist known as Nakamura? I hate that already.
I hated it the second I heard it, bro.
We're officially in the era of forced nicknames. This actually brings me back to the NXT taping from last night. It is no longer Patrick Clark. There is no the Velveteen Dream.
That's his name.
It's the Velveteen Dream.
His name is the Velveteen Dream.
So kind of a bold move there, but I look at the roster on any show. We are in the era of forced nicknames. TJP.
Hate it.
The Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Hate it. The artist known as Nakamura.
Screamy Short Dude Akira Tozawa. Like, they have just so many forced nicknames at this point. It's literally from a branding perspective so they can put like a trademark on.
Right, sell that on a t-shirt.
You throw the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura on a t-shirt and it's going to sell. Like, so I get why they're doing it from a corporate standpoint, but from a fan standpoint,
I'm just sitting there screaming, stop. It's just, please stop.
It's forced and it's contrived. Like, nobody...
He's not even an artist.
When you remember, and very seldom will you ever hear me hearken back to the Attitude Era, because I think we've progressed so much since then. But, you know, the Rattlesnake, the People's Champion, these are nicknames that weren't like in a boardroom, people like coming up with like cool catchphrases that we can throw on t-shirts. These were things, and if they presented it in a way that felt organic and felt not forced and I don't know. So I'm in agreement.
It's not like Nakamura has never referred to himself as the artist Nakamura. It's not like it came up in a promo and they're like, that sounds good. Let's try to run that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, that was just one thing.
He never said it. He never would call himself the artist Shinsuke Nakamura.
And it would be one thing if they tried it in NXT, but it was just as soon as he got to SmackDown, and that's,
the King of Strong Style. That's what you call him.
You're
done. You already sold 100,000 t-shirts that say that. I know. I own one of them. It's the only wrestling shirt I own.
I'm not really happy about it, but...
We're all saying Nakamura wins. Boom, 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 right? And are we going, is the match more than 10 minutes?
I'm going to go with yes, just because I think that they're going to use it as a platform to showcase Shinsuke Nakamura.
Hopefully.
And I think if there's one person on the roster that can make Shinsuke Nakamura look like an absolute kicking machine and sell it like death, it's Dolph Ziggler.
Over 10 minutes, under 10 minutes.
I'll say yes, but I will also say I wouldn't be surprised if it was a squash.
I can see it being a squash now. You said that. I never thought of it, but...
I talked myself
out of it. And that's because of the way
I'm going to say over 10 minutes, but I could totally see it being a squash.
Especially the way with the promos,
quick.
the way the promos have been set up with Ziggler talking trash to him, that you just...
Oh, God, that sucks.
That put the idea in my head initially. Like, it was like, these promos are set up for ring the bell, Kinshasa to the face, and then 1, 2, 3.
The crowd goes, oh, it's so great. This is the worst.
They won't even have to stop singing the Nakamura.
Yeah, they'll still be singing along to his theme song.
They'll take like one break and then,
Okay, let's go. Let's move on. We got 2 more matches to go over. Let's go over potentially the main event of the evening. We got Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan. 1-on-1. This was a match set up on Talking Smack on Tuesday, so the match was just made after SmackDown went off the air. Eric Rowan had got some TV time. He's introducing a new character where he is a clown sheep
essentially
man?
Like a
weird clown.
John Wayne Gacy-esque.
Yes, an interesting character. If you didn't see it, I would definitely check out Talking Smack before the pay-per-view tonight if you have a chance. Really no build up to this feud. I mean, they have been fighting each other for a while since the breakup of the Wyatt family. Shawn, what do you think about this match? Do you think it'll be any good?
I think it's going to be the stereotypical big man.
Big man.
Yeah, it's going to be a slugfest. You pretty much know by now with these two what you're going to get.
Yep.
And look, Luke Harper's one of those big men that are severely underweighted and can do
He's mobile.
He's very mobile. He's very good at what he does, and it makes me sad that he's just kind of hanging around the mid card.
Nothing for him to really do.
Yeah. I kind of feel like you need Eric Rowan to go over just to start the push with this whole
trying to get him legitimized
transition character change. Because I mean, you tried his initial singles run as a face, a couple years ago, where he was like that
when they first broke up,
kind of like that autistic kid that was very like he was a genius.
He was like an add-on because they had a whole bunch of matches where he was like an add-on. Like I remember him feuding. He was with Ryback and somebody else fighting against some bad guys. And like Harper was on the bad guy side. Because Harper was bad and he was going for the IC belt. This was years ago. Any of that. So you're saying you think Eric Rowan is going to come out ahead on this one?
Yeah, I think you need to. I mean, I like Luke Harper. I wish they'd do more with him. But right now, you're trying this whole new character change with Eric Rowan. I think you kind of need to have him go over to start pushing that character change.
Absolutely. I think Luke Harper's the only guy. He's the biggest guy I know of that does the suicide dive through the ropes to the outside. He's huge. This man's like pushing 300 pounds. He's got to be 6'7", 6'5".
Yeah, he's
6'6". I don't know. He's a big boy.
Where was he last night when we were playing this game?
I should have asked you about him.
I was doing pretty good. We were on the car ride home last night, and Corey was giving me like wrestlers, and I was trying to guess their work height and their work weight, and I was getting pretty close on a lot of them.
You got like right on. I was
Matt
like,
Hardy,
crap.
I was off by 1 inch and 1 pound. I said he was like 6 foot. What did I say? 6'3", or 235, and he's like 6'4", 236.
He's not 6'4", he's 6'2".
Or 6'2", yeah, it was 6'2", 236, and I was like,
watching Matt Hardy again. Crazy. It's always just weird to see him again, just because I remember seeing him at St. Clemens VFW Hall wrestling for Glass City Championship Wrestling.
Crazy.
And now Rhino too.
Yeah,
Rhino was doing their monthly shows there for a while, and now he's back
That's
on.
nuts.
It's crazy how fickle the world of pro wrestling can be, because like, literally one day you can be doing like an indie show in front of like like you said,
Yeah, like
Well, yeah, I mean,
100 people, and now you're doing sold out shows.
we got NOW here in Toledo, and they have Abyss coming up. He's going to be there. Crazy Steve, Road Warrior, Animal.
Moose is coming.
Moose is
Animal's
coming.
not doing any. I don't think he's
Wrestling,
working,
yeah.
But
Moose has a match with NOW. Like all these, these are TNA guys, but
they had Shane Strickland here not too long ago.
Well, I think Crazy Steve just got out of his
I know
TNA contract.
he's going to NXT most likely, I heard, or at least WWE in some form. But he's got a booking with NOW before then, so be cool.
Yeah.
Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, what do you got?
Give me Eric Rowan.
2 for Eric Rowan. Why?
Basically for the same reason Shawn said. One, I don't think it's going to kill Luke Harper too much to eat a loss here. Everybody knows he's a good wrestler. Everybody knows he can go in the ring. But I think if you're going to want to elevate Eric Rowan up to that level with Luke Harper, you really need to kind of give him a big win on a big show. And I like where they're going with it. I like the creepy, John Wayne Gacy-esque, scaring the hell out of Renee Young character. It's what I think the Wyatts should have been at their best. Just kind of unnerving enough to kind of make you like...
Yeah, it was weird watching it. And like watching Renee and Shane's reaction to it was also made it a little bit more real.
It was more like
They were,
scary.
both creeped out like, what the hell is this guy doing right now?
It was more unnerving than it was scary. It was kind of just like...
Yeah,
weird,
it was interesting.
Which I like. I like weird, so...
I'm going to go with Luke Harper because that's how WWE does their booking. What they do, I don't know if you ever watched WWE before.
Where can you find that?
You can watch it on TV, the WWE Network. You can watch it on USA. You can watch it on Hulu Plus. I'm sure it's illegal out there somewhere I wouldn't know about. But what you can do is watch the way they book people. It's 50-50. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper just had a match, and it was a decently long match. They put on a lot of it was a pretty decent match, decently long.
It was probably about like 10.
And
12
Eric Rowan won. Eric Rowan won that match. So given their history of 50-50 booking, and I'll give you another example of why I think Luke Harper will win, but given their history of 50-50 booking, I think Luke Harper gets the win. I also, based on their theory of giving someone a brand new gimmick, I'll give you an example. Kevin Owens, the face of America, and then instantly making them lose the thing that gives them their gimmick. So, like losing the United States title right after he gets his face of America gimmick. It doesn't make sense. So they give Eric Rowan a brand new gimmick. They're trying to get it over. How do we get it over? Make him lose his first match with that gimmick.
I hate that you're right.
Luke Harper gets the win here. Lock it in, boys. I wrote the show.
I hate that you're right.
I don't think, though.
I wrote the show.
I don't think Eric Rowan can survive another character. Losing
Eric
his character
Rowan could
to
pack his bags and go the hell back to wherever he's from and never be on WWE TV again, and not a single fan would miss him.
Don't hold back. Say how you really feel.
It's nothing against him. He's been booked so poorly, and they're not going to change that because they already booked him into a hole. He's worthless until they do something different, which I feel like this could be it, but they're not going to execute it properly because they're the WWE.
And that's the
They're
problem.
stupid.
He depends more on Luke Harper than Luke Harper depends on him.
Right. Absolutely. It's stupid. They booked him down, and they did a good job with Luke Harper for like a minute, and they've already messed that up. It's just not the bottom of the card. They don't care about you. Top of the card, if you're a big draw, you can have whatever the hell you want. It's politics in wrestling. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the main event.
The main of main events. My God.
Match of the night here.
Randy Orton defending the WWE Championship versus the Maharaja. Hard body Mahal. Don't do that. That's weird.
What does he do? What does he do?
You get a little higher up, my dude. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say where you had it. Just looked.
Well, I'm trying to get it in the shot. I'm not trying to do a Heil on the camera.
That reminds me. That almost reminds me of the. There needs to be a PSA out there for the delete chant. Like if this is going to continue to be a thing in wrestling,
just be careful.
Imagine here's the best
Don't
way.
do it if someone's standing in front of you, because then you're heiling.
Here's the best way I've heard it described.
They're not going to be able to see you.
I don't care. When you're doing the delete chant, pretend that there is a giant iPhone in front of you, and you are deleting things off of it. So basically, hold on.
Wow.
Do you see how I'm going like side to side and not like heiling Hitler.
Delete.
Yeah.
Delete.
One looks like you're chanting on Matt Hardy. The other looks like you're trying to eliminate the Jews. And
What are you trying to delete when you chant that?
What exactly are you trying to delete here?
This
What's
is
your delete
problematic,
agenda?
people. Wrestling fans of the United States of America and other countries, watch our show, learn to be a better fan, and stop
Educate yourself.
Don't chant CM Punk.
and stop chanting for CM Punk. He's not coming back.
If he comes back, then you can do it, but it's not going to happen.
He's never coming back.
Hopefully.
If you want CM Punk, pay $9.99 and watch him on the network.
He's there.
He's there forever for you. Anyway,
Thoughts on the main event? How do you think they did booking this?
poorly.
I think they did a great job booking Jinder as a heel. If you notice, the crowd legitimately hates his guts. He holds up the belt. He's ripped. He's sweating. And
He's
the fans
not
are
American.
booing the hell out of him. Booing him out of the building. And I'm the kind of guy that loves when people don't like somebody, the heel, you're a fan of him. You like the heel. I like Jinder Mahal. That didn't change it. I love that everybody hates him. I love it. It's so much fuel behind the fire of his character that's his thing. He's going to feed off of that.
It's refreshing to see in 2017 a heel that can get legitimate heel heat.
It's crazy. It never happens.
Yeah.
They try to give heel heat to people and they don't bite. The fans are like, no, you want me to not like that guy? Guess what? He's my new favorite wrestler, but not with Jinder Mahal. And it's awesome. It's great. I haven't seen wrestling like this, a character like this in a long time.
Because it proves that no matter how smarky we get and how much we want to, say that, oh, we like to cheer for the bad guys, we're all deep down a little racist.
Yes.
Well, I'm not.
Well,
The best,
according to WWE, we are.
just real quick, you guys were talking about natural heel heat. Just wanted to give you a quick story. 10 years ago, this was at the height that Jeff Hardy was just starting off his singles, run post Hardy Boys. He had a one-on-one match with Triple H, and this was at the sports arena, the old sports arena.
Oh, wow.
Triple H comes out. The crowd pops for him. Like, he's a big heel at this point. This was just before...
Sports Arena was still around 10 years ago?
Yeah.
This was just before...
This is right after Triple H invented it.
This was just before the start of Evolution. As a matter of fact, that night...
Wow.
That night was the first time they actually kind of started teasing.
This wasn't 10 years. This is more than 10 years.
Yeah, it might have been more than that.
Maybe?
But yeah, but this was actually the first night that they actually Batista came out during this match and helped Triple H, and this was before they started Evolution, but right around getting the Triple H came out and the crowd just popped for him big time, going nuts. He gets on the mic and goes, "I don't need your support. I hate this city." Just like that.
Boo! How dare you say you're here right now?
And I'm just like, this is amazing. This guy has everybody loving him
1 minute.
1 second, and then just couple words.
It's easy
and
as it is.
he can flip a crowd.
Yeah.
And that's, what I always liked about Triple H is like, you can love him, or he can do the most awful things.
Right, he's terrible.
And then he comes out and he's a good guy. Everybody pops for him.
Well, it always happens. Every time he leaves, like he's left on injury before. Every time he leaves, he's a great heel. He's typically a heel in his run. He leaves, and when he comes back, they cheer the hell out of him. He comes back as a babyface every time because the crowd is so like, oh my God, it's Triple H. He's such a great wrestler.
Right, and then
they forget like, oh yeah, he married a woman while she was unconscious and like probably did stuff with her, and they have kids now. Like what? How did you rape her? That's terrible.
Terrible.
I don't know.
And I mean, just as far as Jinder Mahal. Who thought 5 months ago that he would be in this position? I mean, he was gone.
Corey called it. I mean, he didn't.
Okay,
actually,
but
I didn't, but I would have.
But I mean,
they
had a good thing with 3MB. They didn't really give it a chance. They got rid of McIntyre and Mahal, and now look, they're both back.
Gone.
They're back in the company now, and
they're
both in prime positions.
You got one's in a world title match.
They're both built like world champions, where Heath Slater's not built like a world champion.
Hey man, he's in the Marine 5, so the other two aren't.
Actually, that may not be true.
Take your pick.
Jinder might be in it.
It's like what, generic Indian bad guy? Come on, man.
Native American. They like to be called Native Americans.
Prefer, right?
You can't call them Indians. That's racist.
Well, take it up with creative. It's not mine. So I agree with you to get back to your previous point, is I think they did a good job of building Jinder Mahal as a true like heel, contender. But I'm just not invested in Randy Orton.
He's so boring.
Randy Orton has kind of sucked me out of this match. I do a suicide dive or something.
Do a dive.
Do a dive. Like,
what if he does a dive?
If he does a suicide dive or he teases one, I'll lose my mind.
He might, dude. He's a dick.
I know you don't watch a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling, but
Never.
He and Will Ospreay were going back and forth over the whole dive thing. I believe on Twitter, and Ospreay at the Battle of the Super Juniors did the Randy Orton like hype up, like beating the mat in the corner and stuff like that during his match. I want to say it was with Marty Scurll. And
That's hilarious.
It was super funny. So
I'll have to check that out, actually.
But yeah, I mean, for all the good that Jinder Mahal's put in the work in this feud, he's carried this feud in my opinion. Which is
on Talking Smack, he's been great. He's cutting promos that are heel, and you feel it, and he doesn't sound stupid saying the things he's saying.
He looks good. He sounds good. He's carried himself well.
The Bollywood boys behind him, those tiny little guys, makes him look like a freaking giant.
He looks like he does too.
He looks huge.
Yeah.
He is a big guy, but these two little Indian guys next to him, he looks like a monster.
Native American.
It's great. These two little Native American guys.
But that said,
these little Punjabi boys.
For as much as he's put into it, Randy Orton takes me right back out of this feud.
He always has. I haven't enjoyed. I mean, he can put on a good match, absolutely.
His
storylines. It's been so many years since he's had the Legend Killer was amazing. Evolution
he's just so
was great.
Dry that you don't even like. It's like, okay, insert new wrestler, same old promo.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, who do you got in this match, Travis? Oh, you're really thinking about it. That's good. They're doing something right.
They've booked it well. They've booked it well enough that I've actually had to sit here and consider what I think could
a man who hadn't won a match in months until he won that number one contendership match.
My brain says Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm. But what does your heart say?
My heart says Hardbody Mahal.
So what are you going to go with?
I think they're going to pull. I think the Mad Lads are going to do it. I think they are going to put the belt
on the Maharaja.
I just even
you're
if
gonna put the belt on. You're gonna predict that the belt is going on one of my guys in my stable.
I just honestly,
our jobber stables. One of my guys is winning the world title. Is that what you're saying?
You know what?
The Job Squad. My Job Squad.
If glow all you would like. If that's what I need to do to make my pick. Give me Jinder Mahal.
Hardbody Mahal.
It's probably, I know, like my brain is telling me like it's not going to happen, and never in a million years will it happen.
And that's why it might.
Oh, this is such a hard one to pick. But give me
excited.
Jinder.
I'm excited for this because there's a lot of matches where they could go anyway, and like it's the unpredictability makes it exciting, makes it interesting to watch.
Fortune favors the bold. Give me Hardbody Mahal.
Shawn, what do you think? You going with your heart? Or your mind, your brain.
I want Mahal to win just because I think it just ends such a feel-good story for him just because...
Feel-good story?
It's because end a feel-good story.
It's because,
the Maharaja.
I mean, look, this guy, like I said earlier, this guy went from...
Jobbertown, USA
Jobbertown, and he was released to coming back to...
The only match he ever won was against his Heath Slater to get his contract.
I mean, look, 2 pay-per-views ago, right before... at Fastlane, he was in a squash match where he got squashed. So, I mean, to now he's in the main event.
I'm excited. So what do you think?
Unfortunately, I got to say Randy Orton.
You're going with your head, not your heart.
Just because WWE I don't see them taking the belt off. They're just too loyal to Randy Orton at this point that I don't see him taking the belt off.
He's only had it since WrestleMania. So
yeah,
1 month.
So, I mean, it's still early. They're very loyal to the man because, he works for them, All
right, my turn. The Maharaja will leave Chicago as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. You heard it here.
Yeah, that is what I like to hear.
I think with this whole thing with Randy Orton on Twitter might be a little bit negative for him. You want to try to get him out of the spotlight a bit, maybe? Not that it was a huge deal, but that may be one negative. Jinder Mahal has been going above and beyond what they could have ever expected him to do.
I think
he's killing it. I think putting the title on a heel character, there's a lot more storylines that you can do with a heel character than a babyface because they'll do anything to retain their title, whereas a babyface, you have to book them strong. Jinder Mahal will be your new WWE champion. Lock it in. That's right. Congratulations, Jinder. I'll be the first to say welcome
You could
to the
expect
prestigious
Corey,
club.
I'm picturing Corey on like the tarmac of an airport somewhere, like receiving the new champion as he comes home with the title.
Come on,
like with a sign that says like "Don't hinder Jinder." Just like super excited to welcome.
Swipe
like,
right on Jinder.
and he's the only one. It's him and like a sea of like Indian
Native
people.
Americans.
Native
Now,
Americans.
I will say this much, even though I picked Randy Orton, they have made it very well known that over in India they're starting the network.
Yes.
So that's another reason why I could see them
They
make
put the belt
jump,
on
but
the Great Khali, and I will say Jinder Mahal is above and beyond
God.
anything Great Khali could ever have hoped to be. And Khali has his own wrestling school, so he's teaching people how to wrestle. Jinder Mahal's better than that.
That's a scary prospect.
Multi-time champion Jinder Mahal. You heard it here. He is going to win that belt more than once.
You know what, and I think this is a way that you could really have an opportunity here to take somebody like a Randy Orton, an established guy, and use him to make a new star.
A new top contender. He doesn't have to keep the belt forever, but he needs to be at the top of the card and be a legitimate contender and beat some people that are quality wrestlers.
Think about what that opens up to.
Your
after.
mind. You got to open your mind up to this guy being a possible headliner,
Come back.
Once he's in that spot for long enough, people will start to believe it, and that's where he's going to be at on the card.
And I think the initial shock is going to be one of those things where if it happens, it's going to be one of those things where everybody's like, "Oh, wow!"
You're going to get a lot of boos, but you're going to get a ton of cheers if he wins tonight. I guarantee in Chicago,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there's going to
they're
be
going to be
people that
excited
are,
about the change.
yeah, and I mean,
And if it were Raw, I would say 100% this is going to get booked the way exactly you think it's going to get booked. He's going to get they're going to ring the bell, and it's going to be just Randy Orton making Jinder Mahal look stupid. But they have built SmackDown up as this brand to where like literally anything can happen.
Absolutely. Jinder Mahal beat AJ Styles on SmackDown.
Yeah.
He beat AJ Styles,
Almost cleanly.
the best wrestler in the world. He pinned his shoulders to the mat. 1, 2, 3. Jinder Mahal beat AJ Styles.
Let me throw you a question real quick
quick.
to bow this up. Jinder Mahal wins. Who is his next contender for the title?
Rusev. They already got a built-in feud from Raw.
It's not bad.
They split up. They were a tag team. Rusev can show up tonight after Jinder Mahal wins and be like, I will take you down to Funky Town. I don't know.
Yeah, when he's not going to Nashville Preds games.
but see, and here's another thing though, you could still have.
Randy it could be a triple threat.
I mean, you could still have Rusev against Mahal because that's still kind of a,
Like what Corey just, yeah.
they had their differences breaking up the tag teams. So I mean, that's not something that's out of the realm of possibility.
Use an old storyline. It always makes a new storyline feel more realistic and deeper in depth when you call back to a previous feud that the person has had. That's good for video packaging for Money in the Bank. You have the turn where they're fighting each other like already set to go.
Shinsuke Nakamura is going to need something to do at Extreme.
He's
Money
going to
in the
be
Bank.
challenging Kevin Owens for his United States
Do you
Championship.
think they give him the U.S. title first? Before?
I don't think he wins it. I think he challenges Owens, and Owens somehow figures out a way to come out on top.
Interesting. Which reminds me, we start hyping this up a little bit now. I can't remember what episode it is, but we have planned out in a couple of episodes here. We are going to be booking our SummerSlam cards.
That's right.
We have criteria. We'll go into that a little bit more in depth. I think on Thursday's show we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Corey and I are going to each present our own SummerSlam card, and we're going to see who is the closest in picking
The actual SummerSlam card.
the actual
Yeah,
SummerSlam
we're going to
card,
get points for getting a correct match. So if you predict a match that happens and it does happen, you'll get a
Something tells me you
points.
two could probably book a better
that's the
SummerSlam to
thing.
begin with, anyways.
That's not the point, though. I would love to book it the right way, but we're going to book it the way we think WWE is going to book it because we have to be correct, and they're obviously
Brock
not going to do all
Lesnar
the
comes
great
in and
moves.
suplexes everybody.
Yeah.
and leaves.
That would be great.
except for Roman Reigns, who is unsuplexable and punches him.
and then he'll win the women's title.
through nefarious means.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, that has been our WWE Backlash 2017 preview.
What a fun show.
Couple cool things to announce before we get out of here. We are now on Instagram. So if you guys like filters and you like pictures and you like filters on your pictures,
How many pictures you got uploaded so
we
far?
have one
You are the
uploaded.
worst.
Well,
Post some pictures from yesterday, bro. Post the Backlash preview special picture, bro.
We'll see.
I was Corey
actually
eating Chicago style pizza.
The DMs are open on the Instagram account, so Travis is in charge of that. So if you want to,
do not blow me up. So you can follow us now on Instagram. Same thing as everything else. It's at Audio Suplex Live. Same as Twitter. Same as Facebook. MySpace. We got some cool stuff coming up in the next week or two. We have this coming Thursday.
Backlash.
The Backlash, and we'll be actually having via Skype an interview with Puck. He's an entrepreneur. He runs Off the Rope, which is like a really cool t-shirt company that I actually get like t-shirts from and stuff like that.
Crazy.
Big wrestling fan, super interesting guy. Definitely be a really good fun time to have him on the show.
Yeah, so we'll talk to him about his t-shirts, what kind of stuff he offers, and then maybe pick his brain a little bit about Backlash if he caught it.
Yeah. So we got some more NOW guys coming in here pretty soon. We got Alex Jordan coming up in a pretty soon future episode here. So yeah, a lot of really cool stuff coming here.
Robert Lopez.
Yeah, Robert Lopez.
He's the owner of NWW. He'll be on in the next couple of weeks as well.
Yeah. So
not to mention some other guys. So keep an eye on that. I hope you guys had fun, as much fun as we did. It's time for me to go home and go back to sleep.
We're all going to go take a nap.
Yes.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Hey guys, we would like to thank the band Wax for our intro and outro music. You can check them out at waxoh.bandcamp.com. You have been listening to the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.